Hello everyone, my name is Santos David Santana and this is my oral video about defending my research project. My research project is called How to Achieve Fluency in English, Overcoming Stagnation and Frustration. Why I do this project? Learning in English is one of the most important skills that a person can acquire in the educational field on a personal and professional level, since it is the language that connects the world. The students with a lot of effort have come to have a very good understanding and writing of the language, but in most cases the common student has come to feel frustrated and stagnant because after so many years of practice in the language they have not acquired some fluency when speaking English. We as a teacher must use the best strategies to complement the student and identify how we can transmit our knowledge. I had the experience in a high schools when I made a practice pedagogical, and I saw the students are not prepared for learning English because they don't have self-confidence, and the Chinese is seen in all of the students. Okay, so next part I want to talk about the previous study. This research was carried out several semesters ago when the idea of this problem that affects education in Colombia began. For this reason, an analysis was made of the existing needs and how a successful investigation could be carried out based on the objectives and aimed at a solution that would reduce the psychological difficulties of young people when studying the English language and at the same time increase self-confidence as a strategy to achieve institutional success. For this research project, I create a series of research questions, a general objective, and also specific objectives. My research questions are: what are the institutions in Colombia doing wrong in the implementation of spoken English as a second language? The second question is what strategies should a teacher use so that the student gains confidence and can overcome frustration when speaking English? So, next, there is the general objective. The general objective of this research was to determine the mistakes that are made in the teaching and learning of spoken English and to identify what the strategies teachers should use to help learners gain fluency in English. There are specific objectives too, as determine the specific reason that is leading students to stagnation in spoken English. Also, finding the shortcomings that the educational model is presenting in terms of the teaching of spoken English in our country. And the last specific objective is identify the strategies that the teacher can implement to overcome the frustration that the students present and help them gain self-confidence. So, when you are questioning me about the importance of this research idea, I can tell you that this research is necessary if we take into account the problems facing our country in terms of bilingualism and low levels of understanding of English. Many students and also the teachers themselves do not acquire the required level of speaking due to frustration and many times a lack of self-confidence when speaking the language. This is why strategies must be found in which the language goes from being a theory that only focuses on grammar and putting it into practice. I also I made a, a mental map that explains the reasons, the question, the objective, the specific objectives, and the significance of the research in our field. So, I revised the material and theories about the methodology for create this research project. For this research idea, I would use the mixture of qualitative and quantitative studies, since the support of the different conferences, discussion journals is required, and it also requires clear and verified studies with scientific answers. The methodology begins by designing the research and looking for the best way to collect information. Through a survey, the data is collected, identifying the interests and what the students of the educational institution like. Through this survey, students' feelings about the language, their experiences, their weaknesses are collected, and from there the way forward is taken. I can tell a thought according to Tinhaka that says, we have been implementing activities in order to foster oral interaction in different grades, but the specific population selected to work on this project was a group of 33 10th graders, 16 female and 17 male between 15 and 19 years old. It is important to mention that 3 students did not participate actively in the process due to their fears of speaking in public. In spite of the support of teachers and partners, they did not even try. According to this reflection, I can say that one of the most important problems is the lack of self-confidence when you are speaking English. So, another hypothesis is that social affective strategies help learners interact with other people. When a student are asked to work with other students, most of them enjoy and celebrate, since they think the work will be easier and faster working in groups. It is not the same as an individual presentation in public. Working together with one or more peers to solve a problem, pull information, check a learning task, model a language activity, or get feedback on oral and written performance constitutes one of the pillars of this study. The results and discussion. The main results found are the students have lost real interest in learning the language due to poor teaching, the lack of didactic strategies, poor teaching practice in some situations who do not use didactic strategies to complement the class. Another important factor is the psychological factors, were also found in the students due to different cases of bullying. And these bad behaviors generate fear in the student, and for this reason they do not develop speaking skills. Class participation is weak, and we know the lack of resources to implement technological studies and the more fun and coherent learning. And finally, I want to talk about the conclusion of my research project. Overcoming frustration, shyness, lack of confidence will be able to raise the level of our youth in Colombia and thus be able to speak the language fluently and self-sufficiency. The use of a second language means being able to communicate more fluently, understand different cultural contexts, and appropriate them in a certain way. Appropriate the knowledge and advances of the modern era understand and make ourselves understood by those with whom we have this cultural exchange, empower ourselves, and adhere to the growing economic changes. For this reason, it seemed very important to us to choose the research proposal on effective teaching of a second language in children in rural areas, because it is interesting to make this language reach all corners of the country. Thank you everyone for watching my video. Bye.